It's time now for Carter's Corner. Everything Bay Area sports on the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network. Here is your host, Carter Kim.
Well, that was exciting. Gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to Carter's Corner here on Northern Lights Sports and Entertainment. I am Carter Kim, here to talk to you about all things Bay Area sports. And right now we're talking about national sports because the Detroit Tigers just got knocked out of the playoffs by the Cleveland Guardians. They will go to the ALCS and face the Yankees. Tarek Skubal just imploded on the mound. I'm not exactly sure what happened. His offense didn't necessarily help him, but yeah, you can't mess up like that and expect to win. You know, hey, Johnny, good to see you. But yeah, just an absolutely crazy game. And I regrettably inform everybody here that I have gotten every single prediction that I made wrong. Even the safe bet with the Phillies, the Padres, the Tigers, and even the Royals. I got them all wrong. So now, I continue my pledge that I will never make predictions ever again. Ever again. Just not happening, man. Not happening. But yeah, no. Never doing predictions again. Never again. Man, I told you I didn't have a good feeling about the game yesterday. San Diego did not change their approach to the plate, freaking and just forget runs. They only had 2 damn hits the entire game. The Padres deserve to lose. They deserve to lose. Bottom line, they deserve to lose. You can't get 2 hits and not do anything else. Yu Darvish held them to the minimum. 2 runs. They only had 2 runs. If you have 2 swings of the bat, that changes the game. They just didn't do a damn thing. They sucked. They didn't hit for any power. They made Yamamoto look actually good, even though he looks like the next generation of Kershaw. But yeah, just disgraceful. Not okay, man. Like, there's a lack of any ability to change. Like, also, Dylan Cease got shelled. Yeah, Dylan Cease was horrible. But bottom line, you have to do better than that. Getting a reminder for the show. Sorry about that. But yeah, just like Dylan Cease did get shelled, but bottom line, no runs were being put up either. Just awful. Dylan Cease played so badly, it's not even funny. Let me just get his ERA for this playoffs. Let's talk about the mighty Dylan Cease and his true greatness in the playoffs. In the playoffs this year, he had a 14.40 ERA with a 2.600 whip. This was in 2 different games. He didn't even make it past the second inning most games. He was so volatile, it's not even funny. He had a performance worthy of playoff Kershaw. Just awful baseball, man. Bottom line, too, though, like, yeah. The series, in my opinion, was lost in Game 4. San Diego's stupid decision to pitch Cease with 3 days rest after getting shelled in Game 1. You had perfectly healthy, strong arm ready. Exactly. Yes, I know. Martin Perez was, even though Martin Perez had been a little like blah the regular season, he was perfectly good. You could have gone with him instead, but no, of course not. I mean, Dylan Cease got shelled the first game. That's obviously true. And then you had him pitch on 3 days rest. I'm sorry, you should not have gone with him. Bottom line, that's not good enough, man. That's not good enough. You messed it up. And not to mention the fact that you didn't score runs, but Cease had been so bad the first game, you should have trusted somebody else. The problem with Dylan Cease, he only has 2 good pitches in his arsenal. Let me just get his. I'm just going to get his information. Dylan Cease. There are only 2. Let me just get this up for everybody to just make this totally clear. I'm seriously though, but Martin Perez probably wouldn't get a good option. Listen, Perez hadn't been great the entire season. He had a 4 ERA, but he probably would have been better. If I'm honest, he probably would have been better. But let me just bring these stats up for everybody. Right here. So this is Dylan Cease's location on his pitches. The more centralized and like smooth the edges are, instead of spattered, the more location you have. The only two pitches that Dylan Cease has really good control over is four-seamer and his slider. And even then, his slider's a little spotty, but the knuckle curve is awful. The sweeper doesn't do anything. His changeup is awful. He can't throw a cutter. The dude is just not built for the playoffs. He just played so badly, and it's not even funny. From the Royals, okay, I'm doing evaluations, basically, of all the teams that lost. For the Royals, I don't know what happened to Bobby Witt Jr. He played so badly. So did Vinny Pasquantino. Just not good enough, in my opinion, for the Royals. They should have done a little better, in my opinion. But one team I do want to say, hold your head high. The Tigers, hold your head high. But, okay, hold on. Let me just get – I'm actually going to get Martin Perez's stats as well. Oh, yeah. Yes, Perez would have been better than the Dodgers. Yes, Perez would have been better. The Dodgers hadn't seen him in a while. They say Cease is days earlier. They crush him. Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing, seeing the guy. Yeah, Martin Perez hadn't played well most of the season, but you actually look at his stuff too. Let's just take a look at Martin's stuff as well. This is Martin Perez's stuff as well. Sinker's good. Changeup's good. Cutter is good. The thing is, you know what Shohei Ohtani is which pitch Shohei Ohtani is worst against? A cutter. He is terrible against the cutter. He's awful against the cutter. Curveball, decent location. I mean, I'm just saying this. Like, Cease was not the right option. And the thing is, if you had won, if you have the most control there too. This is at Petco Park. When you're at Petco Park, you have more control of the situation because the crowd's behind you. So that's not good, in my opinion. You let it get away from you. Bottom line, you let it get away from you. You couldn't hit, and you let it get away from you. Drink some popcorn before this. But yeah. Just looking at that. Sorry, let me just close my window. There's some activity outside. Yeah. Sorry, let me just close this. I'm just pissed. I need to vent. Oh, sorry, Carter. The Dodgers should not have advanced. No, they really shouldn't have advanced. The Dodgers didn't play better. The Padres just played so much worse. They scored 2 runs in that final 5th game. That doesn't mean they deserve to win. I'm sorry. It's no offense to any of the Los Angeles people that come around to the show, but keep it real. They didn't deserve to win. They just did enough. They just did enough. Bottom line, they didn't do – the Padres, if they had actually played to their ability, they might have won. But they really let it get away from them. Everything just got away from them, and they just didn't let it. They didn't take on opportunity that they had. And this is probably one of their only good years to actually go. What can they do next year? They're over the cap, deep. They had a chance to do it for Seidler, and they messed it up. But yeah. You're good though, Johnny. It's like I totally agree with you. You're totally right. That's the thing. Like, I'm looking at who they could have put out there. Perez probably would have been a decent option. He probably would have been a decent option. I know he's not the best. His velocity isn't necessarily the best, but he had done well the entire season. The Dodgers only had 4 hits that game. Both Ohtani and Mookie went 0 for 4. How do you lose? Yeah. You Darvish owned on Ohtani and Mookie the entire damn game. A lot of those bats got shut out. The only 2 who didn't were Kike Hernandez and Will Smith. Or sorry, not Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez. Will Smith's trash. But it's like, dude, you let it get away from you. Bottom line, you let it get away from you. They got messed up too. They really couldn't hit any of your guys. And you let the game get away from you. And that's bad baseball, and you're going to regret next year when there's going to be free agents and people leaving. You had opportunity with these younger core. You had opportunity with Fernando and Merrill. You have opportunity with Manny Machado and all these other guys. But the lineup goes silent, and Dylan Cease becomes a cookie server. Just disgraceful baseball, man. Nothing but horrible baseball from them. I mean, yeah, also elimination game at home. You have an elimination game at home, and you have an opportunity to take it over. But it's horrible. But you know what team I'm actually not upset with? The Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers can keep their chin up and their head held high as they leave these playoffs. They played some fantastic, and I mean fantastic baseball. I mean, nothing but the best from that crew. They did well. Scooble got shown in the final game, yeah, but honestly, you can hold your heads high. No one expected you to be here this year. You won a wild card series, beating the evil Astros. I mean, nothing but the best. And hey, you can build on this next year. You're showing that you're serious now. You just have to do better, in my opinion. But anyway, like, along with all the other guys, all the other teams, just, you know, let's actually just look at the bracket. I want to talk about the teams that were eliminated because I want to talk about those teams seriously. Okay, I do want to say this. Kansas City, you did well this year. You outperformed your expectations, but you had an opportunity here. You don't want to let this opportunity go to waste. I mean, you had a game that you won against the Yankees, and then you get beat twice at home. That's not good. But I also want to talk about the Philadelphia Phillies. I mean, that's awful. Runners on first and second with 1 out, and Tatis's stupid swing on an inside pitch hit it into the double play. Stupid. Just like I said, they didn't adjust. No, they didn't adjust. They didn't adjust. They made so many mistakes. And bottom line, that's just bad. That's bad hitting. That's bad everything. Just you let it all get away from you. That's your fault. And that's the fault of the staff, the coaching as well. But honestly, like, Yu Darvish honestly deserves better. He deserves so much better for how well he played. I mean, come on. But another team I want to talk about in the same vein as the Padres is the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies, Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, and Zach Wheeler all deserve better. But looking at I've already done that evaluation, so I might as well just not do that. But yeah, there have been a lot of good teams bounced out today. The Padres, the Phillies, along with Kansas City and Detroit. But yeah, it's just a very, very, very crazy day for baseball. Well, obviously, it'll obviously be talked about later tonight on Giant Sports Talk Live. Eric and Glenn will talk. Go over there and enjoy yourselves. You'll have some good sports conversation. But yeah. But I'm going to say this while the camera's on. To make a pledge as a fan of this game. I am not making any more predictions for the playoffs. I'm just letting the games play out. I am not messing this up, okay? No. I'm getting tired of the alleged jinxing that plagues these things. I'm not doing it ever again. Heck no. So awful. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, Martin Perez had a really iffy season, but he actually played super well. He had a great year, and the Padres should have given him a chance to do it. It's so frustrating. Thanks a lot, San Diego. I mean, yeah, San Diego let the baseball world down. But I do want to give a special shout out to Stephen Kwan, who played admirably against the Tigers today. But I do want to say that. Yeah. I mean, the hitters and Dylan Cease and the hitters let that entire team down. They let the people of San Diego down. You had a chance to win at home too, but you had to go back to Los Angeles. That's terrible. You let it get away from you and you lost. That's terrible. But yeah, but now I think we should talk about the CS rooting for the Guardians now. It's a good team to root for. They're a great team, and I really like that team. But again, I can't make predictions. So yeah. Yeah, Carter, what exactly message does that send? Sorry, Perez, but a wounded Cease on 3 days rest and after getting creamed a few days ago is better than we're going to with him. I mean, yeah, Perez, even against us, Perez did a fantastic job. I thought he did a great job. I mean, yeah, Perez had a good regular season. Obviously not great in terms of stats, but honestly, you could have given him the rock. Maybe you didn't even have to have a long-term starter in that game. You could have bullpenned it. If you would have executed a bullpen game instead, you probably would have been better off, if I'm being totally honest. The Dodgers were bullpenning, and they managed to pull it off, and Dave Roberts probably would have messed it up somehow. But no, you guys just weren't hitting. Bottom line. Mets feels like a team of destiny now, though. Listen, I'm not going to say anything about the Mets. They did a great job against the Phillies, but but yeah, it's just I don't think the Mets are going to do well. I hope they can do it, but I think that I'm a little worried for them. That's all. I think they can do well, though. I have a little bit of faith in the Mets. I think that they're a great team. I'm just hoping that they can do something interesting here. Yeah. They basically did a bullpen anyway, Carter. Cease only lasted 1 2/3 innings. The whole thing was totally botched. I mean, yeah. The game was basically lost in those first 2 innings because Cease messed it up, but a couple of relievers gave up hits too. So at the end of the day, it's Cease and a couple other people. You got to do better than that. This is the playoffs. You can't be messing up. I think they let the elimination game get to their head. Yeah. Another person they failed besides you, Darvish. You failed Peter Seidler. If I'm being honest, you failed Peter Seidler. You had opportunity to make up for everything that happened in the offseason. Everything that happened, you failed. You failed. Congratulations. But yeah, Cease, just a terrible performance. Nothing worse. His performance was just as bad as Kershaw's last year. I think the Dodgers are a better matchup against the Mets. San Diego is the best chance, I think. I mean, I don't know. The Mets, they look really good. And I think they just knocked off the Phillies. And the Phillies had I'd argue, a better team than the Dodgers. But I think that if things can go right, and if things break their way, they can really pull something off. They just have to have the right things put together. Do you think Preller will be back with the Padres? Listen, I think Preller has done a really good job. He can't help it if the team doesn't perform. Bottom line, it's like, I'll give AJ Preller a lot of crap for the mistakes he's made as a general manager and all the things that have gone wrong for him. But at the end of the day with Preller, he's put together a good team on the field that's given them chances to contend. They just haven't performed. Bottom line, the dude has done a great job. It's just things have not broken the way that he's wanted them to. he's not like Billy Beane where he actually has control over every single move that's made. He's one of those guys who has to watch the manager put it together like Schill and see if it works. It's not his fault that it didn't happen. So I think he'll be back. It's just really about like he's got to do something to try and win. Mets don't have a pitching Mets don't have the pitching to go up against that monster LA lineup for a 7-game series. I mean, I think that pitching staff has done a really good job. I mean, they shut down the Phillies bats. Then again, people will say, oh yeah, that's the Phillies beating themselves. I mean, and that wouldn't be unfair either. But there were points in this series where the Dodgers bats looked very questionable. I mean, they only had 4 hits in the game they won yesterday. They only had a couple in that game too. Yeah, that lineup is a monster sometimes, but other times it can get as meek as a kitten. Just ask Mookie Betts what he had been doing the entire series. But yeah, I think the Mets pitching staff has actually been very good. I mean, I'm wondering what happens with Kodai Senga, because if Senga starts game 1 and goes for a substantial amount of time, that could be good. I'm just wondering how that will go. But yeah, I think that staff is actually pretty damn good, and we really underrated it. I mean, every single one of the players on that staff is having a career year. Minaya, career year. Severino, career year. Quintana, career year. And Kodai Senga somehow coming back to play. I think that lineup, that pitching staff could actually do a solid job. It's really just about putting it all together. Very true, Carter. Anything can happen, but I honestly think the Dodgers can cruise to the World Series, and I hate saying that. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be a cruise. I think that the Mets are going to put up a really good fight. I mean, they've come too far to just stop. And besides, they'll have to face one of the 2 teams on the other side of the bracket too. But honestly, I think the Mets are going to put up a fight. After everything that they've gone through this season, they can't just fall down. I mean, that's just been a tough one for them, in my opinion. But it is very surprising today because even though we have certain expectations for teams, sometimes they get broken up. Like we thought Tarek Skubal was going to deal, but it was honestly Skubal got beat a couple times. Just got a little, yeah. But yeah, honestly, but I'm done making predictions. As I said before, hi Adi, good to see you. Welcome to the show. Honestly, but I am really truly done making predictions for the playoffs now. I'm getting tired of the jinxing, okay? I just want to watch the games play out, if I'm being honest. They asked me last night, hey, what are your predictions? I said, not a damn thing. I believe in Stephen Vogt. I mean, I love Stephen Vogt. Stephen Vogt's done such a good job. Honestly, like everything that he's done, he's an all-star catcher in his career. He's done well. He's been great. Most of the great managers are catchers. Predict the Dodgers beat the Mets. I don't want to do that because I feel like that's a reverse jinx. I don't know what's going on. Can you at least write them and show them after it's all over? I mean, that's actually a good idea, Morcat. Now, I might actually do that. I don't want to do it, though, because I feel like I'm going to jinx it. Why not? Why not? All right. Okay, Morcatna, you've convinced me. I'll do it now. I'm going to take this pen right here, this pen. I will write on this note right here who I think wins. And after the NLCS is over and the ALCS, we'll find out if I was right. So all right, I've done it. Nah, Carter, it was just Glenn Jinx San Diego. He wore Groovy San Diego City Connect jersey on games 4 and 5. I mean, that's pretty bad, honestly. I can't believe he actually bet on those games. It's kind of insane. Okay, so guys, this is the slip right here. Morcatna. Oh yeah. Oh, actually, no, yeah, Morcatna. I should actually do that right now. I'll do that right now, actually. I should really do that. Okay. Now, this is right here on this little red slip. I will reveal this after the NLCS and the ALCS end. We'll find out if I was correct. This is a dangerous notion because I'm not going to say anything though, because we'll find out. I think it'll be interesting. Maybe this is what I should do from now on, but until then, it is up on my shelf, and when the NLCS ends, Mark Katna, I'm designating this assignment to you, sir. You will remind me on this show when the next show is after the NLCS and the ALCS to open it up and tell you if we won or if one team or the other won. We'll find out. We'll see how it goes. But I'm not trying to take risks on this right now. All right, here we go. But yeah. Oh man, okay. Sounds good, sir. Yeah, of course. But here's, the dumbest thing I ever heard today. One of the dumb things I heard today was, what the marquee matchup for the World Series would be? It would totally be Yankees versus Dodgers. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Is it just big market team versus big market team? Nobody enjoys that. Keep it real. Like, I'm keeping it real when I say the best World Series have always been between teams that are like, it's either David versus Goliath or it's got to be something a little more different. No runs, 24 innings, what an embarrassing choke job. Yeah, it was a massive choke job, but yeah. I mean, I really don't want to hear a damn thing about any, I really don't want to hear a damn thing about whatever when it comes to like, oh yeah, I want to see the Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series. Seriously, the best World Series have either been David versus Goliath or two smaller teams fighting against each other. Last year between the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks, not small teams in terms of economics, but small teams in the scope of MLB. Did anybody have either of those teams making the World Series? No. Nobody had those teams making the World Series, but they did it anyway. And look at them. One of them's hoisting it down in Arlington. And it's like, really? Do you really want to see two big market teams with the best stars go up against each other? That's boring. That's so boring. There's no need for that. Parity is idiotic, in my opinion. That's why baseball is so great all the time. Yeah, we had the Astros a lot in the World Series. Yeah, we had the Dodgers a lot in the World Series. But honestly, last year's World Series was a great World Series because for once in our lives, we didn't have to see a big market team always be in the World Series. I mean, if we had an NBA thing where it was like Warriors Cavs every year in the NBA, then that would be just as boring, even though I'm a Warriors fan. You're thinking of terms of baseball guys like us, though, Carter. Those casuals will tune in more to an LA and NY series. Yeah, that's fair. But honestly, I don't care about the casual fans of baseball because I'm not a casual fan of baseball. I really enjoy watching baseball for the narratives, the storylines, the fun times, the vibes. I really just don't like it when I hear fans yelling about how great the Dodgers are or how great the Yankees are. It's like, it's so boring. That's so damn boring. Like, who wants to seriously watch that? I'd rather watch it. Like, I would rather watch the 2001 World Series again than watch the games that are going to happen this year if it's Dodgers versus Yankees. Because honestly, Dodgers versus Yankees is a lose-lose for everybody. If the Dodgers win, it's a disgrace to baseball because all they do is buy their players and not actually develop anything meaningful. If it's the Yankees, then it's going to be a whole thing where it's like, oh yeah, like we're going to be hearing from damn Yankees fans in the next 5 months. Hold on, let me just turn on my light. But yeah, it's just, I get it. I really do get it when it comes to the media. But it's like, the thing is, this is why I hate the media so much. Because it's all just about the big market teams. It's never about the stories, the interesting things. Yes, but the TV execs in MLB don't care about guys like us. They care about ratings and money. Yeah, I know. I know. It's disappointing for baseball because at the end of the day, the whole point of the MLB playoffs is that anybody can win. Any team can get hot and win. I mean, I know people didn't like – I really hate it, especially when casual fans, all they do is complain about the playoff format or how they care about the regular season or how much they hate, like, the World Series matchup. That's not the damn point. You know what I'm saying? It's not the damn point of baseball for it to be the way you think it should be. It's not like the NBA. Like, even though I love the NBA, where big market teams can like win at a consistent rate, like the Warriors did for a very long time. I love this team, by the way, but it's like you can't be a fan. Especially, this is why I hate fans of the Lakers, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and other people like that who are so inclined to be whiners about how things are in the NBA, the establishment. It's just like, even though everything has gone their way most of the time. I mean, we got to see the Houston Astros in like every single World Series for so long. And honestly, nobody enjoyed that. I'm going to open my window. All right, that's better. But yeah, it has to change, man. Like, honestly, I want more fans of baseball to actually care about baseball. You know what I mean? Like the spectacle, the drama, and the enjoyment of it all. And when you have people who are so inclined to just like love, I mean, even though, and the thing is, these are also like older baseball fans. They want to see Shohei and Judge in the World Series, but honestly, I don't. Keep it real. A match like that isn't fun. There's no interesting story to it. There's no underdog. It's just, oh yeah, big market team. We could do that every day. If everyone wants to just like do that, we could every day in baseball just make it about big team versus big team. We might as well not even play any games for baseball if it's just about big team versus big team. We can create a super league where only the big teams play and none of the smaller market teams like Cleveland are invited, or Detroit, or us. Well, we're not a small market team, but it's like, Milwaukee, Baltimore, or Kansas City, or even San Diego. It's like, we might as well just not invite any of those teams to the playoffs. We might as well just start the World Series right now and have the Dodgers and the Yankees play. But there's no freaking point to baseball then. That's just boring, in my opinion. It's just boring. Because you might as well just not even play an MLB season. Just have the Yankees and Dodgers play immediately to start the season and say, oh yeah, that's the World Series champion. Because that's arbitrary and idiotic. Totally agree, Carter. $1 billion lineups versus $1 billion lineups. It's boring. Exactly. It's boring. There's no nuance. There's no chaos to it. I get that the Mets are a big market team, but they didn't expect to do well this year. And look at where they are. They're the underdog story. Look at what the Cleveland Guardians are doing with Stephen Vogt and all these other guys. They're not a big market team. They're a smaller market team. But no one likes boredom. Listen, people don't necessarily love parody. Yes, they do like parody sometimes, but I like it when there's chaos in the baseball game. I love it when there's just different teams all the time. There's no soul in that. Exactly. Like, there's no soul. There's no actual, like, spirit of the game when all you're doing is just putting the Yankees and Dodgers up against each other every single game. Like, again, I say this right now. If you really wanted great TV ratings and everything else, you could literally just have the Dodgers, Yankees, Phillies. You could have the Mets and all these other bigger teams. You could have all of them play each other every single day, and that would probably be better for TV ratings instead of having them play different teams all the time. But that's boring. There's no spirit. There's no soul. There's not actually anything interesting about it. It's just endless parody. I like it when there's new things. I like it when there's a sort of chaos to the baseball world, because when you can do that, if you can weather the chaos like the right teams can, you can be the best in the world. And I love that, man. I love the notion of smaller teams stepping up or underdog teams stepping up and beating everybody else. That's what we did for so long. We were the small market team, or not the small market team, but we were the smaller, like overlooked underdog team that everybody overlooked, and we won anyway. But yeah, if you really want $1 billion lineup versus $1 billion lineup, go watch highlights. At the end of the day, like if all we have to see is just Judge and Shohei doing what they do, that's boring. That's just fucking boring. Sorry for swearing like that, but that's just boring. Who cares, man? Who cares about like, oh yeah, let's have the Yankees and the Dodgers in the World Series? Then you might as well just have them play in the regular season and have whoever wins be the World Series champion. There's no competition or spirit to that. And that's just boredom and gossip and just craziness. Like there's nothing about it that's actually exciting. It's just a blah. But yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's why it's important to actually play baseball. You got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy October. That's why I say in this little like byline right here, I always say this. That's why I always put this in my little thing. Enjoy October. Because there's so much chaos, especially when you're a neutral fan base like us that's not actually got any skin in the game. It's always fun to watch the chaos of it all. Cocky celebrities versus toxic fan base. I'm sure you know which team I'm referring to here. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah. I'm so sick of seeing Ohtani's batting fourth next inning. It's just, who cares, man? Like, it's all about Shohei. And yes, listen, I know Shohei is an incredible baseball player. No one's doubting that. But everyone gives him so much love and, like, appreciation. It's almost obnoxious at times. But yeah, cocky celebrities versus toxic fan base. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you could say toxic fan base about either one, basically. But yeah, I think you could pretty much say, oh, yeah, that's a toxic fan base because one fan base is known for killing people. The other fan base is more known for just being annoying online and just complaining about the game and how it's going and complaining for days of Derek Jeter and everything else. But yeah, like in reality, like no one's going to enjoy that. There's no beneficiary to actually watching baseball if you watch that series. We all know that if we watched the other two teams in the World Series, that would be so much more fun. There's so much more chaos and enjoyment there. It's competitive. It's tough. It's close. And who wouldn't enjoy that? I mean, the only reason why either of those teams are actually being propped up as World Series contenders is because of the stars. Because everyone wants to see the stars go out and play. I get it. It's fun to do that. It's fun to watch these guys play great. Who doesn't love Juan Soto? Who doesn't love Aaron Judge? Who doesn't like watching the stars of the game play? That's fun, I guess, but that's more or less for a regular season game or a primetime matchup. Do you really want to watch that for every single World Series? I mean, come on. There are stars on every team. Jose Ramirez, Francisco Lindor, Steven Kwan, guys like Brandon Nimmo even. Fantastic young players like Mark Vientos. Guys like Francisco Alvarez. Other incredible players on those teams. Guys like Josh Naylor. I mean, anybody who knows those guys knows those guys are really good players that deserve a shot. That's how I know none of those casual fans actually care about baseball. They care about the stars of baseball. That's all they care about. They care about the stars of baseball, but they don't actually care about the game. They care about the glitz and glamour of the game. They don't actually care about watching baseball games. They probably never watched a single regular season game unless they went to one. In that case, they did. But in reality, they don't care about the toughness and awesome moments in baseball. They don't care about the craziness of it all. They only care about the stars. They only care about the glamour, the glitz, the spectacle of all of those guys in one place. It's boring. That's boring. Much rather see Lindor go batshit crazy against the sleeper J-Ram and then a ass playoff Judge and then batting eight hitters Ohtani. Yeah, I'd say the same thing, Adi. I would say the same thing. It's like, keep it real. Keep it like, I really want to see Jose Ramirez win a World Series ring. I want to see Francisco Lindor win a World Series ring. I don't want to see a guy like Judge, who's been playing so bad this entire playoff run, win a World Series. I don't want to see this whole spectacle around Ohtani win a World Series. It's boring. It's boring. If you want to put billion-dollar lineups up against each other, you might as well go play MLB The Show. Go play a video game. Go play MLB The Show. Go create your franchise in those things, because then you'll be able to watch that every single time you go into that game. With baseball, you know what makes it the most exciting? The unpredictability and the chaos. No one thought the Guardians or the Mets would make it this far, but they're here to stay anyway. I mean, who doesn't want to see an interesting narrative like that play out? There's no freaking narrative around the Yankees other than they're the Yankees. There's no narrative around the Dodgers than it's Shohei Ohtani. There's nothing interesting about that at all. Why would anybody seriously be like, oh, yeah, I want to watch, like, other than casual fans, who would be like, oh, yeah, that's just boring. That's boring. There's nothing exciting about it. There's no chaos. There's no volatility. Everyone loves parody until it gets boring. That's all. Just checking to see if there's any news on our team. Guardians? NY LA would be a World Series would be so cringe. No, it would be massively cringe. It's like, I say this again and again all the time. If you want to watch those two teams play against each other, then that's for a regular season matchup or a primetime show. That's fine. Go ahead, watch it. I don't get on people for liking that stuff, but I do not like it when it's being put on the biggest stage and has to be the World Series. I mean, listen, a game between I would prefer something. I would be interested in a Subway Series or something like that. That could be cool. But in reality, like, no one freaking cares about the Dodgers or the Yankees winning, other than the toxic casual fan bases that they have. Fan bases that are more known for killing people and posting BS on Twitter. Like, keep it real. Like, I want to see Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor play against each other. Those two are old teammates. I want to see Steven Kwan and Francisco Alvarez play well. I want to see Mark Vientos and Peter Alonso play well. Those guys, I am interested in the stories that they have. I'm interested in the narrative. I'm not at all interested in the idiocracy of Dodgers versus Yankees. That's boring. There's no excitement there. Yeah, the only reason that has excitement is because of the stars. There's no exciting baseball being played. The Yankees, other than Soto and Judge, aren't that exciting. The thing is, I don't even think anybody in casual fans in baseball know who Mookie Betts or Freddie Freeman are. They don't even know who Mookie Betts or Freddie Freeman are, other than Mookie's podcast. I mean, keep it real. They're there for two people, Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge. Do you want that to be your World Series that's based around two people? Not even the teams, but the two guys. Is that what you want? Is that all you care about? Do you just want to watch two players? Because if you want to do that, go look up highlights on YouTube. You could do so many other things. Just don't dilute the unpredictability and the chaos of the MLB playoffs with something as parody as the Dodgers versus the Yankees. That's horrifying to me. All that's doing is just endlessly parroting baseball. It's only for the casuals, the people who buy totally different colored team hats just to match the rest of their outfits. Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, just look at this. I'm wearing this for my entire damn life. This is the only hat I will buy unless I have to replace this. In that case, well, I might. But I'm wearing this. I'm wearing this for the rest of my life. This is my team. I've watched it for the last 19 years of my life with breaks in between because I was young and I didn't know a lot about baseball all the time. But it's not okay, man. It's just not okay. You got to do, it's more than just about like the fan. It's more than just about like glitz and glamour. The MLB isn't freaking Hollywood, okay? It's not the NFL. The MLB is chaos and unpredictability. Who wants parity? I don't want parity, and most MLB fans, most sports fans don't want parity. There's a reason why a lot of people love hockey, why they love baseball, because there's a chaos to the game that's about getting hot at the right time. I want to see that. I want to see that. You know what I'm saying? I want to see chaos. I want to see volatility. I want to have more fun with baseball instead of just endless parody of baseball. Because if we just keep doing this thing where the Dodgers make the World Series or the Astros make the World Series every single year, then we're going to be bored, man. Last year, in my opinion, was one of the best World Series of all time. Okay, maybe not all time, but it was one of the best World Series in a long time. We didn't have to see the Dodgers and the Astros in the World Series for the first time in like 7 years. That's awesome. I mean, come on. There's a certain that's the reason why baseball is so loved, in my opinion, because it's an unpredictable sport where neutral fans and fans of teams alike can enjoy everything. Just enjoy the chaos of it all. I mean, chaos in baseball is what makes it so much more fun. There's no parity. There's not repeatable things that happen. There's nothing that can happen repeatedly the exact same way every single time again. And I enjoy that. I think most people in baseball enjoy that. They just don't realize it. What's the name? Yeah, I have to stop ranting right now because honestly, I'm getting like, man, I get a little upset at this at times, especially when I like have to hear certain fan bases just complain about this type of stuff. I mean, come on, man. I'm just praying for the Mets, man. I mean, honestly, the New York Mets are a really good baseball team, and I'm hoping that they do well. It's just that team, it's such a fun team, in my opinion. Like, I really, the vibes, the guys on that team, I love the guys on that team because you watch them and you're like, wow, that's a fun group of guys. They like playing baseball. They want to play baseball. When I watch like the Yankees and or like the Dodgers, I don't think of those guys as teams like, oh yeah, that's a group of guys that's having fun. Like, no, I don't think about it that way. I don't think about it that way for the Dodgers or Yankees. I look at the Guardians and the Mets that way. Because when I watch those teams play, I'm like, wow, like they're actually enjoying the game. They're playing for each other, not for the stardom and the glamour. Like, that's the one thing about baseball I really appreciate.
is that it's a team sport. You play for each other every single time. It's not just about the one guy. It's not like the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James, where LeBron literally had to carry that team of scrubs to relevance. It's not like that, where you can have one guy almost single-handedly bring you to the finals. You need people around you. You need good players to support each other. And that's what Stephen Kwan does for Jose Ramirez. That's what Lane Thomas does for David Fry. You need guys like that to exist in order for baseball to be fun. It's a team sport, and that's why it's so much more fun in a lot of ways. Man. Just what a day, though. It's going to be fun to watch how everything goes because there's nothing like baseball in October. Enjoy it, everybody. I say this every single time I try and come on stream. Enjoy this October because everything's coming back. The NHL is back. The NBA is going to be back. The NFL is going to continue. But most importantly, the MLB playoffs are going to be so fun, and we're going to have a World Series for the ages. Like it or not, it's going to be fun. But yeah, hold on. Give me a second. All right, there we go. Mets are huge underdogs in Vegas. Hope they use that to motivate them. Listen, they just need to motivate themselves because at the end of the day, they can do it. I really think they can do it. They just have to be under control. If the pitching keeps it up, it's possible. It's going to be very close, though. It's going to be thin. The margins are going to be very thin, and the games they win are going to be by saves. I guarantee the games are going to be by saves. It's going to be interesting to see how all that goes. Hold on, give me a second. I need to throw this away. But yeah, y'all, I'm going to be going in a minute because I'm getting a little tired and I have to do some exercise because I've been out of shape lately. Yeah. Go. Hey, Fozzie, good to see you. Welcome to the show. I'm going to be going in like 6 minutes, but thanks for showing up. Just coming to hang out with the guys. You have anything to say, I'm here. Talk to me, man. What you got going on in your head? Man, I am wondering. Mets and Guardians in the World Series? I mean, that would be really fun. Honestly, as a fan of underdogs and tough, great stories, I love that. That would be such a fun World Series. Yeah. But yeah, I'm wondering, y'all, what would be for the Giants? I asked this to Eric and Glenn last night, what would be this free agent this offseason that would be like, besides Soto, because we've talked Soto to death with Eric and everybody else, but what would be your marquee free agent that you'd be like, yeah, that guy's got to be my guy? One game indeed, Johnny. One game indeed. Bivens, Beck, probably. Pavol, hell no. Jelly, yeah. Eric, Randy, Rogers Twins. Freeze / Burns. I agree with that. I think I really want Corbin Burns. I want Corbin Burns because he gives you a lot of stuff, in my opinion. Yeah, I was gonna say we all know what Eric's answer is, but Fried Burns, I mean, I would want Corbin Burns because Burns gives me strikeouts, innings, and everything else in between. Fried may have a better WAR in certain things like ERA going for him, but I'm definitely a guy who would advocate for Burns as a guy that's just like, oh yeah, let's go get him because he would be a great pitcher for us to get this offseason. Fried and Snell. I mean, I'm hoping Snell would come back. Because honestly, if I was going to get one guy just to come back from this year, it would be Snell. Because Snell, I mean this when I say it, he is the most dominating southpaw in baseball when he is on his form. I mean, the guy was destroying people last year. And honestly, there might be one reason why he'll stay. And that the reason for that is Patrick Bailey and him, when they were battery mates, were fantastic together. They worked super well whenever he was on the mound and Patty was behind the plate. He would be able to communicate with Snell super well, and they would win games because of it. I mean, I think because of that, Snell might come back, but he's still thinking about it still. The problem is I can't see a reason why Snell would. I mean, since Buster is now here, there's reason to believe he might decide to be, to come back. But I wonder, like, would he? Because the thing is, let me just look something up. Let me just look something up to make sure I'm right about this. All right. I mean, Snell is just like, he could go to a better team with more money and have a chance to contend for a World Series. This year is an iffy year. Would we contend for a World Series? I mean, or at least a playoff spot or even the division. It's like, it's possible, but we'd have to do very well. Maybe trade for Nico Hoerner. He's a Gold Glover, still young, grew up a Giants fan. He can hit almost 300, and he steals bases. Let me get his information really quick. Why not? Nico Hoerner. All right. Yeah, I mean, 27. That's good. Second baseman. There you go. That fills in second base or shortstop. He's had some good at-bats this year. Yeah, he's hitting great. Just a little above average in OPS. He's a little low on slugging. That's the one thing I'll say, but yeah, I mean, for his career, he's solid. I don't believe Chicago is looking to retain him in particular. He would be a really good signing, I think. I don't know what we would have to do to trade for him, but maybe a couple free agents or a couple people on the current roster. I mean, I don't know. He's owed $12 million each 2 years, but yes, he doesn't hit home runs, but he does everything else. No, exactly. I'll take that. What would it be to get him? I mean, there might be a couple guys on the farm that we can try and send to them, but I don't know if they'll take him. It would have to probably be someone from the big league roster. I mean, in my opinion, it really depends on what the Cubs are doing next year. Are they contending or are they rebuilding? Because if they're trying to contend and they do well next year, then we could give them a reliever or try and see if we can give them something solid for the bullpen. I don't know if we have a starting pitcher to give them. Maybe, I don't know if Robbie would be able to go there, but the thing is we need Robbie Ray too. Yeah. All right, y'all. I mean, it's getting to be that time, so I got to go and do some stuff. I mean, yeah, Johnny, that's slightly true, but I mean, home runs, everyone loves them, but honestly, I think I'd rather go with a bit more small ball. But anyway, y'all, it's good to see you. Thank you guys for coming around. Grand Admiral, Fozzie, Morkatna, Adi, all the other guys. Thanks, guys, for coming around. Thanks for supporting me, Eric and Glenn, everybody else, Will B. Thank you guys for supporting all of us. Go watch Eric and Glenn later tonight on the Giant Sports Talk Live. I mean, it's been great, y'all. I really enjoy just being here, talking to you guys, talk about sports. But it's been fun, y'all. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing out.
You've been watching the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network, a Northern Lights Entertainment broadcasting station.